Feeling stuck? Yearning for more? You're in the right place. This is Midlife Moxie with Nicole Hate, where you're going to get a weekly dose of courage, clarity, and maybe a little bit of chaos as we navigate our best chapter yet, midlife.
Welcome to episode 2 of Midlife Moxie with Nicole Hate. And today we're going to talk about that feeling of, is this all there is? Decoding midlife discontent and why this actually is a good thing. Have you ever had that moment where your coffee's hot, the kids are gone, life is technically good, and yet there's a silence that doesn't quite feel peaceful. It almost feels accusatory. Like your own life is whispering into your ear, this isn't it. You know that, right? I suspect if you're here, the chances are that voice isn't new to you. It's been tapping on your shoulder for months, maybe even years, and potentially decades. And I want to say something to you right now, not as a guide, not as a coach, not even as a podcast host, but as a woman who used to feel that same ache in the center of my chest at 2:17 p.m. on a random Tuesday. You're not crazy. You're not broken. You're not ungrateful. You're waking up. Let's name it. That thought that creeps in when your calendar is full, but your spirit is starving, and you're hearing the call of the question, is this all there is? You've probably checked the boxes, built a perfect life. From the outside, people see you as a woman who's done it all right. But inside, you're feeling an invisible grief. Not for what you lost, but for what you never gave yourself permission to want. This is the real ache of midlife. It's not regret, not failure, but the unbearable tension of stillness after decades of striving. I remember when it actually hit me. I was still working in a corporate job and still pretending that promotions really meant purpose. I was still convincing myself that the right path would eventually feel right. I'd drive into work, or eventually, when I worked remotely, go to my office, and I'd have this hollow pressure in my chest. It wasn't panic, and it wasn't sadness. It was a very numbing realization that spoke to me and said, I don't belong here. And I don't know where I do, but it's not this. And that moment, that quiet collapse, that's the beginning of everything. I once had a client, we'll call her Sarah, successful on paper, respected at work, had a full family life completely intact. But as we were discussing in our session, she finally just let out a deep exhalation and said, I'm just bored, Nicole. I do the same thing every day. It's like I'm stuck in a loop that I didn't choose. She wasn't angry and she wasn't spiraling out of control. She was just done pretending that numb was normal. And what broke her voice just a little was when she told me that her kids were getting older. They were in activities and becoming their own little people. And she was missing it. By the time I'm home, she said, they're winding down. I'm winding down. And all I can think is, this isn't how I want to spend the rest of my life. That's not drama. That's a woman realizing she's living someone else's rhythm. And her soul is starting to hum to a different beat. Here's the part that no one warns you, tells you about, or maybe even doesn't even talk about. Midlife discontent isn't dysfunction. It's a divine alarm clock. It's your nervous system realizing that the boxes you checked don't equal to the life you were built to live. It's your body mourning the years she wore the masks oh so well. She forgot what her own voice sounded like. You're not stuck. You're not paused. And if you're hearing this, you're already restarting. Let's break it down. Why is this showing up now? It's because you've outgrown your own origin story. The life you built was never fake. It just wasn't final. Because you now finally have space to feel. Striving is over. The proving is done. And now that you're not sprinting, the truth has time to speak. Midlife isn't a crisis. It's a mirror. And what you see in that mirror is potential. Not lost, just waiting. And I'm not going to sugarcoat that most women will hear this voice and bury it. Under busy, under wine, under gratitude journals and Target runs. But you're here, listening, which means some part of you is done pretending beige is enough. And I want to honor that part. The brave whispering, I want more. Even if I don't know what more means yet. If this episode cracked something open, even just a little, I want to invite you into a space where that ache gets translated into answers. My email list isn't just tips and updates. It's the conversation that we'd have if you whispered, I don't like myself anymore. And I said, I know. Let's work on that. No selling, no surface, just soul truths you forgot that you were allowed to feel. You can join. The link will be in the show notes. And I'll be waiting there with my pen, my thoughts, my opinions, but also with zero judgment. Thank you for being here and not just for listening, but for choosing to not stay quiet, for allowing that thought to potentially become so much more for you. And if something stirred inside of you during this episode, I'd appreciate if you don't keep it quiet. I do have a Facebook group that will be linked in the show notes. It's where the conversation continues to breathe and take in life. But for now, you can go stare out the window with your coffee again, and this time allow the ache to speak. It's not your enemy, it's your guide. And we'll see you soon. Thanks for being here.